This series is back, finally! Welcome to Master the Hero Selection Season 14, Episode 3. In this video I will be discussing Lancelot as a starting hero, suggesting a lineup to use with him for maximum efficiency, as well as comparing it to other lineups and strategies in the current meta. When you hear or see Lancelot, the first thing 90% of players think of is Astro Power, Wyrmslayer, Swordsman. 75% of that 90% probably thought that's what this video will be about and chose not to click. So to the remaining 15% who decided to, thank you very much. I think you will find this new combo very interesting, but before I even get into it, let me say a few things about the common Swordsman lineup. When using Astro Power as the second synergy, the heroes used are two of Martis, Irithel and Zask, along with Karina added to Lancelot, Kimi and Valor. This brings you to an overall synergy of 3 Astro Power plus 3 Wyrmslayer Warrior plus 2 Swordsman at Commander level 6. This was the lineup I used the most in the early season, and if you remember my first stream, I predicted that this lineup would be a staple in the meta, which it is. But repeatedly playing this strategy has shown me a few very heavy flaws in the lineup. The first and most disturbing is that the lineup is heavily dependent on synergy crystals. I mean, you can solve this by using Rhea skill 1, which is the only commander skill I ever use when playing this lineup, but not everyone has this luxury. And this brings me to the second point. The lineup uses 2 synergies that are supposed to synergize with each other. But until you get a synergy crystal, these 2 synergies work separately, to the point that they can end up damaging each other. The Astro Power synergy gives the bonus to the Astro Power hero with the most items. This does not help the Wyrmslayer warriors in any way. The Wyrmslayer synergy gives HP, attack and damage reduction to the heroes that get a kill on an enemy hero. If the Astro Power heroes kill their steals, the Wyrmslayer health becomes a drawback. The 2 synergies are almost mutually exclusive. That they can even manage to dominate the meta is that Lancelot is a very strong hero right now. I wish I could say the same about Karina, which brings me to the third point. Karina is very weak, too weak to be relied on. The Assassin synergy gave her 25-50% chance to trigger the multiple hits on basic attacks. I apologize if I got the numbers wrong, but all I know is that they were far higher than the current 15%. The Assassin heroes were also a very decent bunch. Comparing Wyrmslayer Swordsman to Astro Power Assassin was always very fun, but now, comparing Astro Power Swordsman to Wyrmslayer Swordsman is an insult to Lancelot. Then again, this is not the meta for Karina. The sheer number of skill-based heroes and synergies like Elementalist, Mage, Nature Spirit, which do a lot of damage, Karina cannot immune, unlike Lancelot who has a chance to immune any of their skills and get another damage immunity, if he gets a kill in the process. It's no wonder people love to add the Wyrmslayer synergy to Karina, but the fact remains that she is still a very inferior swordsman compared to Lancelot. What do you guys think of the Karina versus Lancelot debate? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I think I've said enough about the popular swordsman combo. Now let me introduce the new era, a lineup which enhances the ability of all Wyrmslayer heroes, yes, even Valor. But first, let me explain. The base heroes, that is, the heroes below 4 gold in the Wyrmslayer synergy are Masha, Lancelot, Kimi and Valor. We'll leave Masha out of it for now because she is a whole other strategy on her own. Lancelot, Kimi and Valor belong to the swordsman, gunner and elementalist roles. Do you know any other factions with these roles in the base heroes? Look no further than the S.A.B.E.R synergy, where you have Layla, another gunner, Saber, another swordsman, and Rafaela, another elementalist. Adding these heroes to the base of the Wyrmslayer synergy triggers 2 other synergies and leaves you with the possibility of triggering a third if you want. The new synergy combo is 3 Wyrmslayer warriors plus 3 Saber plus 2 gunner plus 2 swordsman. Some might argue that the only difference between this lineup and the popular Astro Power variation is the presence of the gunner synergy, but let me tell you, that difference is very significant. The gunner synergy gives 20, 25 and 30% crit chance at the 2, 4, 6 hero synergies respectively, and increases crit damage by 50, 100 and 175% at each level. The 20% crit chance might seem like a small number, but remember that Kimi does like 2000 basic attacks per second, so even with such a small number, her damage spikes significantly. And the S.A.B.E.R synergy It summons a Unitron which serves as a tank for the Wyrmslayer heroes and adds an extra wave of CC. Just like the Astro Power synergy, the S.A.B.E.R synergy does not buff the Wyrmslayer synergy in itself, but its heroes can trigger new synergies with the Wyrmslayer heroes, thus indirectly making them stronger. And the Unitron is also a very good tank, irrespective of what other synergies you are using. For late game, an Elementalist Crystal on Lance or Link would trigger 3 Elementalists, further increasing their skill cast frequency. The common rare hero balance of the lineup is also more stable than the Astro Power variation, where you have too many 1 gold heroes and 2 3 gold heroes. Well, enough theory, let's go into the practical. In the last video, I mentioned something about a little devil I listened to, one that said I should use many variations of a strategy before making a video. Well, that little devil is here again. For this lineup, there are about 7 to 10 commander skills, and I will try to explain all, starting with Harper skill 1. The rationale is that if I can build it without an actual commander skill, and it does well, then I can use different commander skills to cover up whatever flaws I might encounter. Starting with Lancelot, I added Valor in the first round. For those who don't know, this is a recommended early game strategy. You pick a 3 gold hero and add a 1 gold hero only. This way you will have 10 gold on the second round and get 2 gold interest. I added Kimmy and Layla next, which triggered 3 Wyrmslayer warrior and 2 gunner. In this game I picked Aegis, but the battle spell priority for me is Flicker, Purify, Revitalize, Aegis, Inspire. The next thing was to add S.A.B.E.R to trigger 2 Swordsman, which completes the base of the lineup. The positioning of the base is like this: Valor in the far left corner on A3, with Kimmy and Layla beside him on B3 and C3 respectively. Lancelot and S.A.B.E.R are then placed in the front row on B1 and D1. The idea behind this is that the backline heroes are more likely to carry the early rounds, and so protecting them is a priority. As mentioned earlier, Kimmy can spike from the very early game with just 2 gunner. The same goes for Layla. Plus, the point of the Swordsman heroes is for them to use their skills. They get mana from receiving damage, so they can cast their skills faster while protecting backline. It's a win-win. In the Fate boxes, the item priority is Kimmy build, Demon Hunter Sword, Berserker's Fury, Sea Halberd, and Starfall Blade. Essentially items with very nice effects. Hazard's Claws and BOD are also very good options for her, as she has a very decent scaling on her basic attacks. They can also be equipped on the Swordsman later on. Speaking of Swordsmen, the Swordsman build, Demon Hunter Sword and Blade Armor are also good options. If mage items are to be picked, the Glowing Wand and maybe Blood Wings are decent. Glowing Wand works for Valor early and can be used on S.A.B.E.R in the late game. The next step was to add Rafaela at commander level 6 to activate the 3 S.A.B.E.R synergy and bring about the next power spike. The Unitron is to be used as a tank. The next step is the Star Cores. Wyrmslayer Star Core is the primary core, and the element priority is Earth for Lancelot and Ling, Light for Kimmy or Lancelot, Wind for Lancelot or Ling, Fire for Valor, Water for Kimmy or Ling, Thunder for Kimmy or Lancelot, and Arcana. Why is this core even here? I don't use the Swordsmen as core heroes until they get 2 stars, especially Lancelot. When that happens, I relieve them of tank duties and put them on the back row, so that they can jump to enemy backlines. I upgraded to commander level 7 when I got Estes, but you can upgrade to commander level 7 when you get Marsha, so you can increase your chances of finding Estes. The plan is to add Marsha to the lineup and replace Rafaela with Estes. As you can see, the new lineup becomes 6 Wyrmslayer warrior plus 2 swordsman plus 2 gunner, maintaining the swordsman and gunner synergy so Kimmy and Lancelot can receive their power spikes. One nice thing about the second Fate box is that you can get a Wyrmslayer Crystal or Ling here. I got the S.A.B.E.R Crystal in this game, but in some other games I got Ling or the Crystal. The item priority remains the same. The next step is the secondary core, Swordsman, and the element priority is Earth for Lancelot or Ling, Wind for Lancelot or Ling, Fire is very good on S.A.B.E.R, Thunder for any of your swordsmen, Dark is really only good on Karina, and Water, I don't like this core at all, so I always avoid it. Then I upgraded to commander level 8 and added Hayabusa, but this is only temporary. Ling is the second swordsman needed, so when Ling is obtained, he will replace Hayabusa and Marsha. That means you can then return Rafaela to the board. From here you can either choose to remain at commander level 8 and max all heroes you can, Or if you get a S.A.B.E.R crystal and a science crystal, you can try to max the S.A.B.E.R synergy by upgrading to commander level 9. Like I said earlier, when you can build the lineup using Harper skill 1, it means you know how to build the lineup naturally. Now we can try to use different commander skills to cover up any weaknesses seen in the natural build order, or we can use the commander skills to add some more power. The first skill is Remy's skill 3, Windfall. This skill makes it easy to upgrade the commander level and allows you to reach commander level 7 and 8 very quickly. This is essential as the main heroes are Lancelot and Ling. Next up, Ava's skill 1, Coordination. This skill grants 100 physical attack and 200 magic power when at least 4 synergies are triggered. Remember the base of the lineup: 3 Wyrmslayer warrior plus 3 S.A.B.E.R plus 2 gunner plus 2 swordsman. 4 synergies, easy to trigger. With this skill you can get a massive power spike and survive even without a star core. Next, Brown skill 2, Blazing Hammer. This skill unlocks the special item Blazing Hammer, which instantly kills any enemies around the carrier whose HP falls below a certain threshold. This is perfect for Lancelot or Ling as it helps them secure kills and prevent kill steals. Next, Rhea skill 1, Petal Stars. This skill can be used to obtain a Wyrmslayer crystal when used on Lancelot. The crystal can then be equipped on Layla or S.A.B.E.R. With this skill, the 6 Wyrmslayer warrior synergy can be activated as quickly as the placement stage creep defense round, at commander level 6 with Lancelot, Masha, Kimi and Valier. Add S.A.B.E.R and Layla to trigger 2 gunner and 2 swordsman, and you can complete the 4 swordsman at commander level 7 when you add any swordsman hero, and if you add Ling, you can complete the whole lineup at commander level 6. This is my personal favorite of all commander skills as it allows me to activate the Wyrmslayer core very quickly. Next, Thar skill 3, Feast. This skill is a special one. For those who know how to use the skill, it works very well for swordsman and the lineup does very well early to mid game, so rest assured, you won't get knocked out before you activate the skill. Next up, Ling skill 2, Showdown. I didn't want to add this skill because Ling is banned almost every game, but when he is open, you can use this skill to further boost Lancelot or Ling. Finally, Fanny skill 3, Super Launcher. Fanny is another banned hero, but when she is open, you can use her skill to build the lineup easier with the extra space provided. Very quickly, here's a summary of the game plan. For your commander skills, you want to pick either Ava skill 1, Rhea skill 1, Ling skill 2, Brown skill 2, Remy skill 3, Thar skill 3 or Fanny skill 3. Your starting hero is Lancelot, then you add Valier and Kimi to trigger 3 Wyrmslayer warrior, you add Layla to trigger 2 gunner, you add S.A.B.E.R to trigger 2 swordsman, and you add Rafaela to trigger 3 S.A.B.E.R. Your primary core is going to be Wyrmslayer warrior. At commander level 7, you add Masha and replace Rafaela with Estes to trigger 6 Wyrmslayer warrior. For your secondary core, you want to pick the swordsman and add another swordsman to trigger 4 swordsman at commander level 8. When you add Ling, replace the other swordsman with Ling and replace Masha with Rafaela to trigger your 3 S.A.B.E.R again. Commander level 9 is unnecessary unless you want to complete 6 S.A.B.E.R. Do you have any questions about this lineup? What other lineups do you use when starting with Lancelot? Is Lancelot a good starting hero? What was your experience playing with this synergy? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video and or learned something new, make sure to like and subscribe if you are new or haven't subscribed yet. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.